Hiya, I'm ThatJaymsWisdom and this is Collected Comics Comments, where I'm going to talk about all of DC's new sneak peeks for their new DCYou. So now that DC have finished their Convergence event that's been running for the last 2 months, they're going to be going back to normal with 44 weekly comic series. Some of them are going to be new and some of them are continuing from their old series that were running before the Convergence event. I'm going to go through all 44 here as quickly as possible just to give you a brief overview of what to expect. This is all based on the previews that have been running completely free on the DC website. I'll put a link at the end of the video. So the first new series we've got is Starfire, which is about her trying to live on Earth with humans rather than living on a deserted island with Roy Harper and Jason Todd like she has been in that series, Red Hood and the Outlaws. And the preview is basically her talking to a bunch of different DC heroes, trying to work out where she's going to live. It's got nice art, kind of poppy, cartoony style art, decent dialogue, and kind of spotlights from all the characters. It's difficult to tell exactly what this is going to be like, but I get the impression it's going to be quite a light-hearted, quite a fun comic. The next series we have is a continuing series, which is Detective Comics, now following Jim Gordon as Batman in his robotic bat suit. And it looks like it's going to focus on him and his relationship with the police department. So that's Harvey Bullock and Renee Montoya, which I was interested in because I'm a big fan of Renee Montoya. And this, I think, is her first appearance in the New 52 universe, the current DC universe. And it looks like it's going to be about Jim Gordon's relationship with that police department and whether he can reconcile being Batman and still being a police officer. Another new series we have is Section 8, which is a bit of a different style of superhero comic, much more in keeping with Dial H for Hero. If anyone read that, that was quite a good series, but it was very different. It was very kind of off the wall kind of stuff. Section 8, it includes Hitman, if you know Hitman. He's one of the characters there, plus a bunch of others. The preview focuses on someone called Dog Welder, who welds dogs to people by the looks of it, and it's about this old superhero team reforming, I think. Very, very weird. Probably not for everyone. It looks like it could be interesting if you like Dial H for Hero. It's the same style of writing and artwork as that, so you'd probably quite enjoy that. The next series we have is Prez, which is about a young girl who's elected president on Twitter. It's set slightly in the future, so I don't think it's current with all the rest of the DC Universe stuff that they're going to be releasing. But it's set slightly in the future, with a young girl being elected president. In the preview, her plane is shot down and there's a conspiracy going on there. It's got some kind of sketchy artwork. It's not traditional superhero style of artwork, which is actually a running theme through a lot of the comics that we'll see coming June in DC. There's going to be quite a variation in their art style throughout. Prez looks kind of interesting. It's not massively popular in terms of public opinion, as far as I can tell from reading forums and stuff like that. But it looks alright, doesn't look like a bad series. It's well written, it's good action, and it might be interesting to some people. I think for a slightly younger audience probably, rather than the established older audience. Then we've got Midnighter, which is kind of your standard classic superhero stuff, but it's quite street level. He's very much a gritty, breaks bones kind of superhero, a bit of a vigilante more than a superhero, I guess. Although he can predict any move people are going to make, is the idea, if you don't know who Midnighter is. And that series looks kind of good. Might be worth picking up. If you're a fan of Midnighter, it could be a good series. It's quite action-packed in the preview. And he's also an openly gay superhero, which is nice, something DC have pushed a little bit recently. Next up, we've got Doomed, which is a really interesting looking one. I wasn't expecting to like Doomed, but having read the preview, I'm probably going to pick this one up. It's about a kid who turns into a demon. His superpower is he can turn into this kind of demonic form. And of course, because he looks all demonic and stuff, he looks like the villain. He can't speak when he's in his demon form. He can only kind of roar and scream like, you know, you expect demons to be able to do. One of the really nice things about the preview is it's actually got a character called Alpha Centurion for those long-time DC readers. And it looks like it's going to be this misunderstood hero who's made out to be the villain. Really liked it. Then we've got Green Lantern. Green Lantern will be continuing on from what was going on before Convergence. I'm not a massive Green Lantern fan. I don't mind the character, it's just not something I really follow. But it looks like it just continues on from where you left off with Green Lantern. Green Lantern now doesn't have his ring, he's got a gauntlet, like the original green power battery thing. And he's on the run, he's a criminal, he's considered to be a criminal, and the preview is him in a bar, bunch of law enforcement, alien law enforcement obviously, come in, try and arrest him, he beats them up, and then of course lets them go. Interesting looking thing, not my cup of tea, but a Green Lantern fan is going to want to read this, I'm sure. Then we've got Omega Men. Omega Men is going to be a first issue coming out. Some of you may recognise the name Omega Men, you may not. They have appeared previously in the DC universe and in the New 52, I believe, if I'm not completely mistaken there. And the preview is kind of interesting because it looks like this Omega Men group has kidnapped someone and they're doing a prisoner video, you know, bag over the head, tied to a chair type stuff. And it's the leader of the Omega Men telling the world what they're about and why they should be afraid of them. And then it turns out that this is Kyle Rayner and they snap Kyle Rayner's neck, or it looks like they do, but there's lots of kind of flickering of video footage, which is kind of interesting. Doesn't really sell anything to me, so I'm not 100% sure on it yet. Next we've got Red Hood and Arsenal, which is kind of a new comic, kind of not. It's basically a continuation of Red Hood and the Outlaws, it's just that it doesn't have Starfire in it. I was really bummed out by this preview because I really like those two characters. I think they're great characters. They've been mishandled in the past. I haven't disliked the stuff they've had in the New 52 so far. It's been kind of fun, it's been alright. It's ups and downs, but this just looks really bad. It's the same writer, which is a real shame. I feel like they could have easily breathed new life into this by having a different writer, and the writer is known to not be a particularly decent chap outside of comics either. But the artwork is atrocious, the redesigns of the characters. We've got Red Hood wearing a hoodie with no sleeves for some reason. He's still got his helmet thing, but he's got a hoodie with no sleeves and a massive collar. They've both got really, really super young, trendy haircuts now, which doesn't work all that well with both of them. Roy has always been like kind of scraggly hair, that was kind of the point. Now he's got long hair on top, really short buzz sides, and Jason's got exactly the same haircut, it's just it's a different colour. And it was kind of naff, which I was really disappointed by. That said, Green Arrow, which is continuing on, looks really good. I'm a big fan of Green Arrows, have been, but the stuff that Kreisberg has been writing recently has been absolute rubbish. So it was really good when Lemire was in charge of the stories. As soon as Kreisberg came in, he started kind of injecting all of this stuff that was his old creations into it, and it just didn't fit and it didn't work with what Lemire had set up. Whereas this preview, the preview here is Oliver Queen riding across country on a motorcycle, trying to get as far away from everything as possible till he basically hits the end of land. He goes to this town where he realises that actually he was meant to be Green Arrow. Tonally, it feels really, really like Lemire's stuff, and it kind of feels like it spins off of that, which is great. There's actually a little throwback to Seattle, where he's now based, where he's talking to Emiko, the sister that he discovered he had in Lemire's run, and that is him looking to go back to her, and her asking him to come back and save the city again, and him deciding that actually, yeah, he feels good being Green Arrow, and it really works. It really feels like Lemire's Green Arrow taken to the next level, which is what we needed, rather than what Kreisberg had been doing, which was a real shame. So fingers crossed that could be really, really good. I'm going to stop there because that's 10 minutes done, I think, pretty much. What I'll do is I'll do another few videos of all of the rest of the series. This is the first week, so this is next week's June releases. What I'll do next is the week after that, so I'll do them each week, one at a time. So don't forget, you can actually go and read all of these DC sneak peeks on the DC website. It's at dccomics.com/DCYou. That's not DC and the letter U, that's DC and the word you, as in you yourself. So I've been ThatJaymsWisdom. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Any feedback would be wonderful. So keep smiling and thank you very kindly. So I've now recorded the other video. It's over there. Go take a look. That will be the following week's sneak peeks, all run down in a list, just so you're aware of what's coming out and what might be good, what might be up your street, what might not be.